Hello! In our lesson today, we're going to deal with reading comprehension. More specifically, we're going to talk about selfies. So, how many times have you thought of selfies and how many times you've been using selfies? Well, I do believe every day. When you think of selfies, well, I think that the pictures that come to your mind are girls that take photos of themselves, they make beautiful posts, and they make those signs like the victory sign, for example. Others would like to show beautiful backgrounds so that they can show all their achievements. Also, some girls would like to put all those filters so that they can be beautiful. They would like to be perfect. On the other hand, we have some people that don't really mind showing all their naturality, so they don't mind putting any filters. Many people would like to show all the places they've been to, so that they can show how proud of themselves they are by visiting these amazing places. Even younger kids would take a mobile phone and then they would show how beautiful they are. And even if you post selfies of yourself or even of those with your friends, I do believe that selfies are here to stay. We're going to continue and we're going to discuss about all those words that come to your mind when we're talking about selfies. So, the words like frame, picture, shot, or self-image are those words that, thinking of selfies, come to your mind. Also, portrait, snap, or why not grabbing that stick and then taking these beautiful selfies also come to your mind. But the most important word is the word self. We're talking about selfies and we're trying to show the best part of ourselves. This is what we're going to read about. But before that, we're going to start with some vocabulary so that we can be much more prepared before reading the text. So, we have the words filter, pose, a caption, spots, society, to be supposed to do something, a selfie, and when it comes to. So together we are going to read the meanings, the different meanings that we have, and then we need to put the appropriate words. Let's start by reading the first one. A photo that you take of yourself with a phone. What were we talking about until now? Of course, it was a selfie. A tool for changing the natural appearance of a photo, such as by altering the size, color, or adding different effects. And of course, that is the filter that we use in order to change the photo that we just took. Words next to or on a picture that explain something about it, and that is the word caption. So the caption gives the details about the photo that we just took. On the topic of, so we are saying when it comes to a specific topic, a group of people in a country or area. We're talking about society. Society includes a whole part, and we're talking about a group of different people. To be expected to or should do something, then we're saying that we're supposed to do something. And an action you do, for example, you smile, or you pull a funny face, or you make a V sign, then, of course, that is the word pose. And the last word, we are talking about small red parts on your face or on your body, then we're talking about different spots. And now we are going to continue with our reading comprehension. What we're going to do is read together different exchanges and then focus on the questions that we have about this text. So we have two people communicating, Courtney on the one hand and Leo on the other hand. They're having a conversation. We're talking about speaking here and not writing. And then we will see the differences that we have in the speaking conversation and those words that we do not use in the writing. So, in year 7, I used to love, filters all the time, but I don't use filters anymore. And Leo says, if you're posting a selfie of yourself and it's a normal selfie, then that's fine. So as we can see, in speaking, there are many words that we might repeat. There are many words that we started differently, we continue the conversation differently because it is speaking. It is not writing so that the communication flows. We stop, we repeat, we might think, we might say, yeah, why not? Let me think. So, this is the difference between speaking communication and writing communication. That was simply an example of speaking. Of course, we are not supposed to write in this way. Now let's focus in the sentences that we have. Courtney doesn't use phones, use filters, or take selfies anymore. What did we read in the text? Courtney doesn't use filters. And this is the answer. Here it is. I don't use filters at all. Leo thinks that normal selfies are fine, funny selfies are fine, or only his own selfies are fine. Leo thinks that normal selfies are fine. And here is the answer, because he says a normal selfie, then that is fine. We're going to continue with two more people now. We have Spencer and Lucy now. So let's read together. See, I'm not really a type of guy to use filters when it comes to my photos. Or my captions are the one. And Lucy says, I feel like you can always think about how you present yourself online, what you post, what you are posting about. So, this is a conversation between these two students. Now, let's go to the sentences. Instead of using filters, Spencer prefers to edit photos, take perfect photos, or write captions. Well, according to the text, Spencer prefers to write captions. And that is because in the text it says, my captions are the one. So, what he is really interested in are the captions and not the selfies themselves. And Lucy recommends thinking carefully about how you present yourself online, how to take selfies, or how you use your phone at school. Some of the answers might be directly, let's say, understood that they are wrong. For example, you could directly say that we weren't talking about whether phones are used at school or not. So you are not going to choose C. What about the other two? Now, what does Lucy recommend? She recommends how you present yourself. This is what we should be concerned about. How we represent, how we show ourselves online. And the answer is here. How you present yourself online. We're going to continue with our last communication here between Dominic and Courtney. So still these students continue giving their own personal opinions about the selfies and whether they like them or not. So, Dominic says, I feel like society has made us think that this is what we are supposed to look like in a photo, and that this is like the pose that we have to put. And Courtney continues, or the filters as well. Dominic agrees and he says, yeah. And Courtney then adds another comment that make people want to take more photos because, oh, I like this filter because it's so good. It makes me look, or it covers all my spots. Like, why can't we just be ourselves? Why can't you just be yourself and be natural? So we can see that Courtney is using a rhetorical question in the end, which means that Courtney knows the answer, but wants to put some emphasis on something that all people should believe. And this is Courtney's opinion. Now let's move on to the questions that we have. Dominic thinks that school puts pressure on people to look good. Did we read something like that? Society puts pressure on people to look good? Or her family, or Dominic's family? Well, the point is that according to the text, we have this specific answer. Society puts pressure on people. And that is Dominic's opinion. So whenever you are to choose one answer, do not think of your personal opinion. So it's not my opinion. I could agree with this, but it's not my personal opinion. We're talking about now Dominic's opinion. So be careful when choosing the alternatives. Always refer to the text, not on what you believe. And Courtney thinks that people should be more creative, natural, or attractive in their photos. And according to the text again, the correct answer is natural. So, why can't you just be yourself and be natural? So, I do believe that you understood this text very, very well. They were very easy for you. So, now we're going to continue with some words, some specific expressions that we see in different texts when we're talking about speaking conversation. So, don't get confused. Speaking and writing are differently written or, of course, expressed. So, the expressions that we have here are feel like, so I feel like, yeah, like, society has, like, made us, like, think that, and it continues. I am not really a type of person to, I used to love filters. Why can't you just be yourself and be natural? So these are the expressions found in the texts. Okay, so now we are going to put the different meanings in these expressions. Let's see together. I feel like is the meaning of which expression? Of course, a phrase that means I think, I believe. Yeah. When do we say yeah? Can we say it when we are writing? Of course not. We can say that we agree, so it's a word to show that you agree, but it's speaking, it is not written. Yeah, we say yeah, not yes. When we say society like, feel like, it means that I am continuing with my thoughts, but I need to stop a little bit to think about that. So I'm using the word yeah to fill this gap in the communication. So I'm using that in order to pause, to stop a little bit and think about what I'm going to continue, what I'm going to say after that. Then we have the expression that I am not really a type of person that. The meaning of this expression means that the speaker isn't really interested in something particular. So I'm not that type of person to do one specific thing. We have I used to love filters. This is something that refers to the past. I used to love filters, but I don't anymore. It is a past habit, something that happened in the past. So in the past, I used to love filters, but I don't anymore. And the last one that we have, why can't we just be ourselves? We mentioned before, this is a rhetorical question. We are talking about a question that emphasizes a point, a question that the speaker doesn't expect an answer, because the majority of people know the answer. Everyone wants to feel themselves and not try to change. So that is a rhetorical question. Thank you for paying attention, and I hope that you enjoyed this interesting lesson about selfies. Goodbye.